Is that so?
It's been 84 years.
Every night in my dream I see you.
Good evening and warm greetings to wherever you are in the world. This is Amelia, aka Spaced Out Puffins, and I don't know if you can tell, but I am so excited. Reports from the comments down below have informed me that today is the day. I shall finally know his name. I've got my brush pen and paper prepared, and I am so excited to exchange this huge, ugly ass note for a small one that's uniform with the rest of the board. Now, before I do my recap from my episode 3 rewatch, and before I start changing stuff around on the board, we need to talk some clarifications. First off, this is gay. I mean, aside from the obvious subtext and the very vocal fandom, like it's really gay. People in the comments have been tipping me off, but what really drove it home was when I started searching for book retailers. Like here. Was no one going to tell me? I'm trying not to look too hard, but there are boys. And they are loving. I guess I always had this idea that Chinese BLs weren't really BLs. I see now that I've been mistaken. Like, I was under the impression that you'd find these Chinese BLs and they would just constantly be skirting around the fact. Like, the subtext would be so thick, but just subtle enough that you can deny and explain it away. But this is pretty explicit. I also didn't know that TGCF specifically was a BL. Like, more often than not, big fandoms and big ships usually come from media that just isn't explicitly LGBT affiliated or adjacent. But this changes things, narratively speaking. See, now, Butterfly Man isn't just the expected friend, ally, carrier of the torch of homoerotic subtext. He's the love interest. The intention in his writing is now romance. So my standing theories don't really change, but the perspective does. Lian is his savior, but also potentially his first love. And there are some indications here that connect to the second clarification we need to make. So in this story, demon equals ghosts equals dead person. Someone who didn't move on. Before this was clarified to me, I kind of thought that maybe demons and ghosts were like different species or different kinds of evil creatures. Turns out that Butterfly Man and the ghost bride Xuanji are the same, except he kept a better skincare routine. Also, in terms of power scaling, Xuanji was classified as a Wrath. The Green Lantern ghost was also a Wrath, but quite powerful. Butterfly Man is above them both. So I'm guessing, both from him being a major character and from the power scaling that I noted down, being wickedness, terror, wrath, and devastation, Butterfly Man is a devastation level demon. Ghost. I'll get used to it. So the major implication from all of this is that he's dead. He was saved by Lian, but in the end, he still died. By the look of him, I guess he did get to live a little. He got to be a bit older, experience something new, like his budding feelings for his country's crown prince. But that means, as we saw in episode 1, he was there for the fall of Shanle. He might have died in the fall of Shanle. And I think I'm right on the money with this one, Lian is the reason he's still here. I'm not sure yet if it's a will thing or a regret thing. Like, did he choose this? Or is his step to Lian kind of what keeps him here, possibly against his will? So I have worked out 2 different theories based on this information. The first one is that we're having a situation where Butterfly Man is basing his entire existence on his adoration and love for Lian. And he wants to be by his side. After having seen his kingdom fall, after witnessing Lian's fall from grace, falling from heaven, he wants to be there. And now that he's like a level 100 mega evolved ghost type Pokemon. He's there to make sure that none of that shit can happen again. But if this is not a situation where he's here at will, then maybe Butterfly Man is bound to ghosthood by his life debt to Shillian. Basically, his unresolved feelings and being unable to repay that in life is part of what's keeping him here. It's possible that his plotline in this show will be to repay this debt so that he can move on and live in peace, die in peace. If that is the case, maybe the relationship that will eventually blossom between them becomes a source of conflict, in which maybe love is what will make him choose to stay in the end. Or maybe he'll even just try to avoid repaying that debt so that he can stay. Gosh, I've been thinking about him so much and I don't even know his name. Another minor clarification is that I now know that Muqing and Fang Xin were Shillian's deputies, as in he brought them to heaven when he first ascended, and they gained immortality for it, but they have since ascended as gods themselves. I don't know the rules for ascension just yet. We know that Shillian ascended because the Emperor liked him and saw boundless potential in him, so it's not a very objective selection process. And to then be sent up and down like a divine yo-yo? Mr. Emperor, sir, I would like to have a word with you. Speaking of Shillian, like I don't regularly do that already, I'd like to backtrack a little with some observations I haven't really talked about yet. I have seen your comments, I have seen the memes. I am not as naive as to think he hasn't seen some shit. And I am dreading the fact that I know it's coming. I just don't know when. Just in case, I am putting tissues on my shopping list this week, and I will live in blissful denial until then. Do you know why Shillian's hat is so big? It's because it's full of secrets. See, I realized I've never actually mentioned his neck bandage, in spite of that being one of the defining design choices that made me recognize him in the first place. I think I just thought it was his weapon, but rewatching the episodes I realized it never left his neck. And of course, in the opening there is this scene where he is bleeding light from like a wound around his neck. So, what could that symbolize? Like, for one, we know that Shillian is very skilled, but that his powers are completely nerfed, supposedly after being thrown out of heaven twice. So maybe it is like a mark of shame, or maybe even a wound that kind of leaks out his magic powers, and that's what's making him so much weaker. On the darker side, since this show tends to go a bit darker, and consider this your content warning, you can skip ahead for like 20 seconds, but could it be self-inflicted? Maybe. Gosh, I'm not even confident to go there just yet, but basically like a mark of failure or shame. Guys, my rant is so long today and we still have to go through the board updates from episode 3. Come on, let's do it. So in the sub, after he finishes his little acrobatics act, he mentions that he used to do busking. This man is just so talented. I bet he's got like one quirky thing that he just can't do. Something he's just dreadfully terrible at. Like, maybe singing, maybe cooking, maybe his handwriting is just chicken scratch. The bar is literally in heaven. I'm guessing he would need to do busking to like get by, maybe, like after he was thrown out of heaven and, you know, his kingdom no longer exists. I'm replacing the ghost groom tag with the actual character Xuan Ji, General and Ghost Bride, a Wrath level ghost. She and the General Mingguang had their fairy tale gone bad. I read some really insightful comments just talking about their whole situation, and I think the general consensus is that while they both made some dumb choices, she really went off the deep end. They wanted different things, but in the end, only one of them turned into a manipulative mass murderer ghost. That said, the story as it's being told to us is being told by Pei Jr., who is from Mingguang Palace and who is the descendant of General Pei. When Lingwen relays the story to Shillian, one of the things she makes sure to mention is that Pei was quite a ladies' man, a philanderer as the dub said. He did some very right things in the situation while he was still alive. like burning the plans, the map, so that innocent people wouldn't have to suffer because of her lapse in judgment. But in this situation, she is a murderous ghost who has connections to the General Mingguang, who is a god, and you would think that he would come and help clean up this mess because you'd think that is his responsibility as a god, martial god of the north. I guess he did send a lot of help, but her feelings of resentment are connected directly to him. And I might be wrong, but I feel like things would be resolved more quickly if he just showed up and deal with it once and for all. But then again, with this unresolved, these guys might pop back up sometimes. For now though, I'm moving them all the way down at the bottom of this board, because I don't think we'll be seeing them anytime soon. I could be wrong, of course, but narratively it doesn't make sense. Like, I feel we're about to do some other things now. I actually think that Pei Jr., aka Pei Shu, is more interesting at this time. So interesting, in fact, that maybe if he pops up again, I'll go print him a picture so that I can recognize him when he does. I'll put him over here with Ling Wen, so that he has like a heavenly official over here. He was promoted at 20, ascended only a couple of hundred years ago, and Nanfang's mentioned that he's connected to massacres of entire cities. So I think we should be keeping an eye on him. RIP to Miss Ying again. Someone told me that Lian really only told her that she was being helpful to make her feel better, so that she could go peacefully. Knowing that information as I rewatched the episode in Chinese, I actually teared up a little. Just knowing her death was all in vain, it was proper tragic. But as you've been saying in the comments, this is the tone of this story. There is not always a meaning to the suffering, and not everything is black and white. We're more in a sea of grey. Gods from heaven can be shitty, and some ghosts may be husband material. Another character I'll be keeping an eye on is of course the Bandage boy. He's connected to Shanle and the plague that wiped it out. I will definitely be finding a picture of him for next time. And I also want to print the mysterious character we saw in Lian's nightmarish flashback. When I first saw the character from the back, I thought it was Lian for a couple of seconds. But then he turns around and we see his creepy mask transitioning into the face of Bandage boy. Now, this could just be insinuating that this mysterious plague man, woman, person is the cause behind the disease. The multi-phase disease, the many-phase disease, the phase disease. Okay, but hear me out. Is perhaps this plague mask person, is Bandage boy like the weakened form of that person? Maybe he's like patient zero, the first case of this plague, the origin, so to speak. Or Bandage boy is proof that plague mask is still out there and still capable of causing the disease. Or maybe that he's starting up again, maybe even experimenting to make like an even worse plague. I'm sure I will have more clues soon, so I will stop speculating for you for now. I do have a whole episode to watch after all, and I am so excited! This is it, we're finding you a name, old man. We're about to roll episode 4, Ghost King of Hua Cheng, which I'm guessing might be like a title or like the place he rules over. You're a king? You've been social climbing. You might be a match for my boy after all. Okay, all the jokes aside, I am so excited to start. Let's just roll. Oh, he's proper shook. Oh no.
Please don't run away.
Oh no. Oh, we're talking trauma.
Why did he leave?
You were dressed as a bride back there. You probably scared him off. Your Highness?
Yeah, catch on, Fuyao.
Illness.
Was that multi-face disease?
Like most patients, his face was disfigured. They burned their own flesh in order to halt its spread.
Bizarre. It was highly infectious. Is no one speaking of it? You'd think there'd be rumors.
They're
I
making
know what
some
I
good
saw.
points.
Perhaps he's already on the mend. The scars are just the aftermath.
He was far too young.
Yeah, this was
Perhaps
800
he's
years
lived
ago,
for
right?
centuries.
Holy shit. The plot is really moving now. Okay, I'm trying to pause today to see if I can like see who's supposed to be up on these banners. And I wonder if the person on this side is supposed to be a function and maybe this is mooching over here. Doesn't really look the same. Like this looks way more like function. And I think this is Lian behind him. This character I'm not too sure about. All I can really see is a fan and the face is a bit hard to make out. And maybe the person in the middle is like the emperor. You can't see their face like at all. Oh hey, there she is, there he is. It's General Mingguang and Xuanji. I like this artistic interpretation of the characters. And also the fact that she is looking at him and reaching for him while he's already looking away. There are story clues in this opening and I quite like it. And since I'm already analyzing the other slides, I'm guessing whatever is happening here is going to be one of the upcoming arcs. We have two characters who are very distinct. We have, it looks like a girl, a woman, standing on top of a building. And then this guy holding a sword and looking very grim. There's also a lot of soldiers around them and something that looks like a fire in the background. There's like a dragon-like creature behind the girl. So maybe these story clues are gonna be important to figuring out the next arc. There he is, the man of the evening! We're all waiting for you now. All you have to do is show up. Opening still slaps.
That is an issue. We'll act swiftly. We can't afford to let that disease run rampant.
Right, so this was a very serious thing.
There was one more concern, if I may.
Use the telepathic matrix. I'm sure the officials would like to hear too.
Are we getting a mention?
On his best behavior?
Xuanqi won't reveal where the Green Amour is.
The actual
She
general.
only begs for Pei Ming. Take her.
Wait, what was he talking about? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let's do that again. Okay, so what I remember about the green ghost, the green amour, the lantern, is that they like to hang corpses from trees, which is why the junior officials made the connection. Well, which is why Fang Xin is now trying to figure that part out. Basically, it's insinuated that the two rots were working together, and now they're discussing where to put Xuanji. So she might actually appear this episode, huh?
Pei Jr., why don't you take her?
Only General
Hey Junior,
Lian
check.
will handle her. Knowing Xuanji's temper, I must decline.
Xuanqi is already quite the handful, regardless of the Green Amour's involvement.
But Qirong makes everything
Green
worse.
Amour. Qirong. Pardon. About that forest of hanging
Qirong.
corpses. Was the Green Amour there?
If you were here earlier, you wouldn't ask such things, Your Highness.
Fucking hell, Mooching.
Sorry. I was held up.
Silence! Enough gossip! Where is
Super
Pei?
morbid.
Let him talk to the mad woman.
I love how function is me.
Does she work for the Green Amour?
It was recently she became affiliated with him. That's when she became a nuisance.
Oh my god, the Jedi Council is back, and they're basically just the comments field after last episode. Even they can't decide who's supposed to take responsibility here.
Some of the responsibility.
That's right.
Someone has
Silence. How quickly you forgot
Thank you,
about
Ling
Mount
Wen.
Jun. If
Thank
it weren't
you.
for Xie Lian and his assistants, I'm afraid that we may not have had a resolution. We owe them. As the one in charge of the task, do you have anything to add? You have the room.
While I was in the sedan chair, I overheard a childlike spirit singing. But the two junior officials heard nothing.
A child? That doesn't ring a bell.
It must have been a delusion. The whole thing sounds suspicious. You deal with it.
Don't dump it on me! The same goes for Xuanji!
But we need to find a suitable mountain.
I love him.
Of course.
He's great.
Anything else?
There's one more thing. Has anyone ever come across a young man who controls silver butterflies?
Your Highness? I beg your pardon?
He's speaking of Hua Cheng.
Hua Cheng.
Hua Cheng.
Quite a name. It suits him.
That was his name. Oh my.
You've never heard of the Four
Roll that
Devils.
back, roll that back.
He's speaking of Hua Cheng.
Hua Cheng, huh? Quite a name. It suits him.
Everyone's just...
Don't tell me you've never heard of
You
the
did
Four
not say
Devils.
that. The Four Devils.
Of course he's ignorant. He has spent centuries
Oh
in
my
the
god,
mortal realm
Wu Cheng, shut
preoccupied
up.
with making a living.
So who exactly are the Four Devils?
A most troublesome force consisting of 4 demon lords. The Green Amour, also known as the Green Light Nightwalker, is one of them, but he is the weakest.
Okay.
He has yet to attain the rank
Ooh.
of devastation.
Next is the Blackamoor. While not friendly, he does keep a low
Blackamoor?
profile. Heaven doesn't have much information on him. However, we do know that he is a water demon.
The
Alright,
most
what a
powerful
demon.
one is the White Calamity.
He has another name too. Bai Wu Shan.
Oh! Here we go! So the White Calamity, Bai Wu Shan, I have no idea how to spell that, Bai Wu Shan, was responsible for the plague in Shanle. The plague mask person, that's probably him, right? The strongest of all the 4 devils. And Shillian has met him before. I'm still not over how everyone just froze when Shillian went like, huh, that suits him. Like he was just so happy to learn his name. While all the gods are literally stood around here like, boy, that's Satan you're talking about. We are learning so much, this is so exciting.
Not to worry, Your Highness. He is long since passed.
So he's gone.
I'm aware.
Or is
I'll be
he?
alright.
Remember the butterflies you saw? They're known as Death Spirit butterflies. Their master has been a headache to the Heaven Realm for ages.
Oh,
His
he's a bit
name
of a
is Hua Cheng,
troublemaker.
also known as the Crimson Rain-Sought Flower.
Hua
He's a
Cheng,
bit mysterious, as he
crimson
masquerades in many
something
different
flower.
forms.
Not that that matters. He's beaten 33 gods and burned down their temples. No one would ever forget that guy.
He sounds
Ooh.
rather formidable.
He made quite a name for himself. He sought to challenge 35 heavenly officials. If he lost, he would offer them his ashes to dispose of. But if he won, they'd have to relinquish their positions in heaven.
Hence, 33 fools accepted.
It was a shameful defeat.
Yep, that's when they wrote him off. So when he showed back up, rashly, they didn't pay. He grew furious and burned down all their temples as retribution.
And
Holy
since those
fuck,
sanctuaries and
Hua
worship were the source
Cheng.
of the devastation led to the downfall of 33 gods.
Even worse, these foolish gods projected their duels into the dreams of their believers, which only led to converting their followers to revere Hua Cheng instead. Their vanity led to the Heaven Realm completely losing face.
What a maniac.
This man is brutal! He essentially destroyed 33 gods without even having to kill them directly. This page is such a mess right now, like I can barely read what I've written down. But holy shit! You've been busy. Now I'm wondering what these 33 people, or 35 people, did to piss him off so badly. I have a few thoughts, but let's keep watching.
The martial gods disgracefully fell to his cutlass.
While the literature gods fell to his sharp tongue, it said some even spat blood as they engaged in debate with Hua Cheng as he callously hurled insults at them.
And don't forget about the swarm of butterflies.
Right?
They still haunt the dreams of even the most powerful of heavenly officials.
Somehow, I find the creatures to be quite elegant.
Quite elegant, huh?
So Hua Cheng challenged 35 gods, but just 33 accepted? Which 2 didn't? Shenzhen and Nanyang, how do you both know so much about this?
Why do you think?
Is he that simple? Your Highness,
Oh
are
gosh!
you certain that you met Hua Cheng?
You two? You two? I'm sorry I'm shouting so much, but I am actually so excited to learn more about Hua Cheng. Hua Cheng? And I actually do know how to spell it because it's the title of the episode. Ta-da! I'll add his title once I hear it again. Crimson something rain flower. On a side note, it doesn't seem like Shillian knows this name or recalls it. So maybe he changed his name sometimes over the last 800 years? Either way, this is just so exciting. He's not even on the screen, but just the fact that we're talking about him and learning things. Oh, it gets me so excited. And I do think it's funny listening to the Jedi Council talking about him like this. Like he's this big, dangerous creature who's wrought destruction all over heaven, while the Hua Cheng we've met is the one Shillian's met. So these are two very different images clashing. And I'm sure they're both true. But the motivation behind his actions, I think those are going to be most interesting to find out.
Your Highness.
Tell me
Are
more,
you
tell me
certain that you
more.
met Hua Cheng? Describe him.
He's tall, red robe, umbrella.
Did he do anything?
He guided me safely, then left, that's all.
You're sure?
Yes.
That doesn't sound like him.
He's up to something.
I see. Considering the circumstance, we should all raise our guard. I fear the devils are conspiring, setting a trap to confuse us.
Hua Cheng is a deceiver. We should take extra precaution. I think we fulfilled the purpose of our meeting. I'll inform the Emperor. Let's call it a day, shall we?
Log in off the Discord call.
Does that mean no one is taking Xuanji?
No. I appreciate the two junior officials. Thank you.
There's really no reason to thank me. Just take care of yourself and focus on paying off your merit debt. Don't you agree, Nanyang?
Hua Cheng totally fucking revealed himself just then. Fu Yao and Nanfeng both said that their generals did not know about them going. I feel like he is a sticker for details. He would not let that go. I'm like 99.9999999% sure these two are the junior officials. I think that was like the nicest thing he has said as himself this entire season. And I mean, mission accomplished. They helped, and Shillian even said thank you. They're so flustered, I know they are. Gosh, I'm enjoying being a spectator to this. Hello, Shillian. Oh, girl. Did you not sleep last night?
Lingwen, might I bother you? I still owe all those merit credits. It's just under 9 million, right?
Congratulations. With all the merit credits you collected, I'm pleased to report. Your debt is now clear.
What?
You're
Just like that?
joking, but there's no way. And that cleared it completely?
Don't worry about it now. It's gone, and that's all that matters.
Well, good on you, Shillian.
Anyway,
What are you gonna do now?
do you have any new information to share with me?
Holy shit, look at those mountains of scrolls.
I told the Emperor of our findings. We're conducting an in-depth investigation, but while you were in the mortal realm, he's become such a thorn in my side.
You work so hard.
It's all right. Do you have any plans for your future?
Coincidentally, that's precisely why I'm here.
And that's what I
Although
wanna
I've
know.
ascended 3 times now, I don't have a temple to my name or worshippers for that matter. I realize that's brought both you and His Majesty some trouble. I'd like to be more independent.
He's gonna
Besides, with
get
my
himself
freedom,
a temple.
I could go to the mortal realm myself and build my own temple.
You're so cute.
Bye.
He literally just yeeted out of there. Look at this place. Oh my gosh.
Someone's living in the deserted house.
They remodeled it as a Taoist temple?
You sure?
It's
Let's
a
go
Taoist
see.
temple.
Welcome.
Oh my god, boy.
Who is this temple devoted to?
The Xianle Kingdom heir.
Who might that be?
He was the crown prince.
What did he do?
Protect his followers.
Do you think this prince could bless us with wealth?
I'm afraid not, sorry.
Then how about a promotion?
He can't do that either.
Oh, what can he do?
No wonder this guy's so poor. His god is worthless.
Should we tell him no one will want to be involved with a
Oh,
failed
no.
deity?
Hey, don't you want to thrive, priest?
Lingwen would be a good one. Why not get blessed by the greatest scholar?
I suppose.
I have another
so
suggestion on
awkward.
who to worship.
And who's that?
The General Dick Young.
So tragic. You got your work cut out
There's
for
no
you.
rush.
That's for sure.
I'll have worshippers and offerings eventually.
That's right. Oh. Oh. It's okay, stay positive. Stay
Suppose
positive.
I have some restoration to do in the meantime.
Here's today's weather forecast coming from a dank Chinese river valley near you. It's sunny with a chance of butterflies. Are you walking around collecting things? We like an environmentally conscious guy. Oh, this is so picturesque. I'm loving just the environment in general. Did he hitch a ride?
These should do. I'm so excited. Selling these scraps to invest in my future. Turns out this is much more fun than Ascension.
He's into second-hand use and he has a side hustle reselling things, environmentally and economically conscious. Why are you so charming? Why are you everything?
Huh. This scroll mentions me.
Ooh.
The crown of the Shinla kingdom has ascended 3 times, a god of martial arts, plagues, and scrap collecting.
What?
I'm a god. That's good.
Ascended 3 times. Martial arts, plague, and scrap collecting. Which is what he was walking around doing just now. And look at his face, he's just so happy that he's a god.
Though that's quite a gap in my accolades. Well, all gods are equal, like all living things.
Is that so? If all things were equal, would gods even exist? Mortals preach equality, but they want a power to rely on too.
I spot red. Hello.
I suppose you have a point.
Hello? Who are you? I was a bit torn between shock and disappointment, but then I remembered the picture I saw when I was recording the first episode and searching up pictures, and I thought it could have been his younger self. During the last arc, it was mentioned that wrath level ghosts could transform. This is him in disguise, right? I'm going to need to print a picture of you.
I suppose you have a point. Wudu, the water god, also oversees wealth. It doesn't really make sense. Why is he in charge of that?
Merchants often travel by ship. They pray to him hoping for a safe passage. So eventually, it became his province as well.
This water god must be quite something.
Aren't you clever?
Uh-huh. A real tyrant.
What did he do?
It went to his head, and he would capsize ships if they didn't make offerings. Hence the moniker Water Tyrant.
That's a shame. So, you have quite a bit of knowledge. For someone your age.
I got time to kill. That's all.
I need to go back. Oh my god, why is he so cute?
So, you have quite a bit of knowledge. For someone your age.
I got time to kill.
Yeah, like 800 years of it. Aren't you?
What do you know about ghosts? Anything?
Which one?
This is so picturesque.
Crimson Rain Sought Flower, also known as Hua Cheng.
Has Shillian caught on? Like, I know I've caught on, but I have the power of pausing on my side. See, I think Shillian figured this out, judging by the way he talked to them in this episode. So honestly, maybe he's caught on already. Like, why else would you ask this young man you met on the back of a carriage what he might happen to know about this very specific Ghost King?
Don't leave yet, Your Highness. Be careful in the mortal realm. You may see Hua Cheng again. You need to be on your guard. Also, keep this in mind if you do encounter him.
Thanks for the heads up.
That place has created treacherous beings. They're ruthless, fickle, and sly. Perhaps he was kind to you once before, but that doesn't mean it wasn't manipulation. You should avoid him at all costs.
Holy shit, Ling Wen. What? This little guy? This little cutie? Yes, I can see the manipulation in his big, beautiful eyes. No, no, come on! No, not today! This is not good. This is not what I wanted. This is too short. What the heck? I'm watching that whole scene again. Hold on.
If all things were equal, would gods even exist? Mortals preach equality, but they want a power to rely on too.
His voice. Gosh, I want to hear his answer. Why are you smiling like that? Oh my. My prayers were answered, and yet I am not satisfied. Holy hell, Hua Cheng! Hua Cheng! I think this time, waiting for the next episode is gonna be the hardest time yet. Like sure, episode 1 to 2 is exciting, but now I'm invested, right? Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce the Crimson Rain Salt Flower, Ghost King Hua Cheng. I had to make so many notes this chapter, but in my excitement, my handwriting is so messed up. The rewatch is going to be really important for me this time around. But what's this here? What is going on? Does Hua Cheng have like a Chilean sensor? Like I've been wondering before, like how did he know to show up at Mount Eugen? Is it all coincidence? Did he just happen to have a butterfly by the tea house that Chilean was at? They have confirmed backstory. Like was he really in the area for a reason? He didn't seem to be working with the ghosts at all. Or maybe he was and then immediately flipped loyalties when he realized Chilean was there? I don't know, like he's a ghost king. He's levels above Xuanji and the Green Lantern. Qi Rong. Gosh, there were so many names in this episode. I really need that rewatch. Because as per usual, I'm just distracted by Chilean, of course. But holy fuck, Hua Cheng took the spotlight this episode. And his voice? I seen the voice actor name dropped in the comments and I realize why. Gosh, that felt so short. 23 minutes? Of course, that was basically a regular anime episode. Right, so half the episode is the Heavenly Council meeting room, where all the gods are discussing what to do with the whole Xuanji situation. On top of that, Chilean and the junior officials reported the case of the plague acting up again. And on top of that, Chilean comes in and tells everyone he's been walking around with Hua Cheng, the Ghost King, who's been fucking up shit in heaven for years, who has basically ruined the lives of 33 gods, martial and... what was that? Civil gods? Because he's that good with his sword and with his tongue. Ooh, that came out weird. And now we have another connection to Fengqin and Muqing to explore. They were among the gods that he challenged? Like, why does he have a grudge against them? Oh, of course. Look, they are all from the kingdom of Shanle. They were all around at the same time as the plague was wrecking the place, as everything was happening. Something must have happened back then to make him carry a grudge towards these two. Oh, this is actually so exciting. I have no idea what to do with myself. And like I said, this is probably a disguise. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe this is the disguise. Like, what is his real self? I'm guessing that's gonna be a part of the plot too. Will we get to see him as his real self? Like he already showed up as this character in front of Chilean, right? So what is happening now? I'm gonna have to rewatch and try to get some coherent thoughts going as to what I think is gonna happen. What I want to see is this guy swing his sword around. God, what's with me and my word choices today? His cutlass. I want to see him in action. I want to see the butterflies be these terrifying weapons of mass destruction that the other gods were so worried about. At the same time, I don't think it's time for that just yet. I think we'll be playing mind games. The little flashback that Chilean had with Ling Wen confirms to me that he has probably caught on. He thinks there's something strange about this very young person, as you remarked, who knows a lot of stuff. Chilean has also just heard a lot of stuff from the other gods up in heaven, so I think he'll be trying to figure out just what Hua Cheng's motivations are. Like, is he actually that dangerous? Or could he be talked to and reasoned with? Hua Cheng, in any case, is trying to get closer to Lian, which I expected he would do in the case of both my previous mentioned theories. Like, we are really testing the water here? Maybe he's appeared like this because he wants to kind of visually relay the fact that I'm not trying to be a threat. But see, the thing is, if my first theory is correct and he is really just so in love with Lian, like, I don't think he is like maliciously trying to manipulate him, but I think he wants to paint a certain picture of himself. Like, he's a charming, young, knowledgeable man, kind of like dressing up to go and meet the boy you have a crush on. He's probably practiced these lines in the mirror like 8,000 times. Is that it, Hua Cheng? Are you just shy? Of course, there's always the chance that Lingwen is right. I don't know enough yet to tell. I'll be editing this out, but I'm literally sitting in complete silence for like half a minute at a time, just trying to gather my thoughts. See, if his character aligns more with my second theory, that he's kind of stuck in this world because of his debt to Lian rather than his feelings, as in romantic feelings, feelings of attachment, feelings of gratitude. Like, if he still hasn't developed those kinds of feelings, he would need to get closer to Lian to realize his purpose, and in which case he would be a manipulative little bitch. I could of course be wrong on both these counts. I'm really just throwing out everything in my mind, hoping something might stick. What I do know is that this board is gonna have to undergo some shuffling. The Green Imor, the Black Imor, the White Calamity, Hua Cheng, Crimson Rainsword Flower, the Crown Prince of Shanle, Thrice Ascended God, Martial God, Plague God, Scrap Collecting God, Voodoo the Water God, also God of Wealth, and also the mention of this Mount Furnace, where Hua Cheng supposedly fought all the other ghost-type Pokemon so that he could evolve into his final form. Gosh, I need more! I am still so new to filming content and editing that it's taking me hours and hours every time. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with it. But right now, all I want to do is press play. Imagine having to watch this like weekly, waiting for a new episode. Oh, holy shit, I'm so excited. The next time you see me, I will be back with more printed pictures, and the board will get like a full update. Gosh, it feels so good to finally know his name. Hua Cheng, Hua Cheng, Hua Cheng. And to have them speaking, they're talking to each other. God, I can never get enough of this. As it seems I have nothing more sensible to say, I'm just going to end it here. If you're still watching, thank you so much for joining me for this really exciting episode. Let me know what your first impressions of Hua Cheng were, if you still remember them. I'm stuck somewhere between a little suspicious and completely swept off my feet. What a darling boy. I might approve, Lian. I really might. Anyway, this has been Spaced Out Puffins, logging off, and I will see you for the next one.